Hey now, it's Brace for Impact, and I am your host, Mike, two-time COVID survivor, two-time COVID champion of the world, Gilbert, and I'm joined as always by JD by God Oliva. How you doing, JD?
I'm also a two-time COVID finalist. I think we should keep the breaking news accidental intro in there because
Yeah,
it
we
made me
are.
laugh. Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell Garrett we're leaving it in because part of the theme of the show is we don't know what the hell we're doing, and
Oh,
so
yes.
when we screw up, we're just gonna leave it in. That's fine.
Fair. Fair.
Yeah. So how's your week been, man? What's going on in the world of JD? By God, leave it. You got something big brewing. I've been following along on social media. What's going on with that?
I launched a Kickstarter this week, and to start off, it was the worst launch I've ever had on the platform.
Oh no.
Um, oh, it's okay. We hit our funding goal today. I've just been spoiled in the last four that I hit it like hours after launching. I don't think I did a great job putting the actual campaign together, like the page and stuff. I had like this dude Russell Nolte, who's a mentor of mine. He's kind of the Kickstarter for Fiction Guru. He's like, okay, here's what you did wrong, and I'm like, damn it, yeah, I was a little too distracted with the old day job, I think, and then I think I just kind of farted out my campaign page, and I'm kind of paying for it. But the numbers are starting to tick up. I love the book, man. This is my first book ever. This is the first book I ever wrote, and we're doing a re-release for the 5th anniversary of it. And my wife just sent me a text to throw me off. Okay. Sorry. So yeah, the first book I ever wrote, it was supposed to be a comic, and my partner that I was working with on it died. And we got an offer to publish it a week later.
Oh
So,
my gosh.
yeah, it was pretty rough actually. It put me through a real big depression that I didn't even realize I was in until Andy was born. But so this is what kind of led me. I'm like, you know what? I can't finish this story. I didn't feel right to do it as a comic, so I'm like, oh, maybe I'll try to write a novel. And it really kind of changed my life because this is what I do now. So I'm re-releasing it as a hardcover. I've never done a hardcover before. Um, I love this story. It's basically basically a bunch of middle school kids trapped in a commercial haunted house, like one of those haunted houses you go to on Halloween,
Mhm.
with a band of redneck demonic jinn that have taken over. So that's the thing, is the kids don't know like who's just acting in the haunted house and who's actually trying to kill them.
Ah,
And there's
I want to
murder
see.
and mayhem about it.
Oh, that sounds awesome. So,
I love this
um,
story.
yeah, you and I had already kind of talked about this, but as soon as it's available, I have to buy one for Grandma Gilbert because she wants a
It's
copy of
available.
it. She said she wants it, so I'm gonna have to buy her one. And so
Well,
I'll
get your ass on
autographed copy.
Kickstarter. Get your ass on Kickstarter. Back the campaign. It's live for 2 more weeks, and she'll have the digital book on Halloween. But I can guarantee that fast. But then she'll have it next month.
My grandma's 80 years old. She's not
I will
reading a
have her the.
digital
I
book.
will have her. I will have the paperback next month.
Okay. Yeah. That's perfect, man. That's perfect. Hey, before we get into all the news and all this stuff, I just want to plug our Patreon. I've been forgetting to do that. So head over to patreon.com/fightgamemedia. We have a ton of impact stuff that's come out in the last couple of days to get into on Patreon. We got a bunch of contract news. There is a mass exodus from the company. A lot of free agents came available after Bound for Glory, and a lot of them have already been picked up in other places. So we're gonna talk about that on the Patreon. We're gonna there's tons of stuff to talk about on the Patreon, but we're gonna get it kicked off today. As you guys have already noticed, I was in some breaking news mode. Well, something just happened right before we went on the air, so I'm hitting the button twice. JD, let's go, baby.
Let's do it.
Breaking news.
All right. So right before we went on the air, I guess AEW is in Toronto right now, and they're taping Rampage. I thought Rampage was live this week, but they're taping it right now. Even
They're
though
taping it.
I thought they were live all the way through Full Gear in November, but
Oh.
I don't know. I don't really keep up. I watch Dynamite and that's it. So, but they're taping Rampage right now, and Mike Bennett, Maria Kanellis, and Matt Taven, formerly of Honor No More, OGK, the current Impact Tag Team Champions, showed up on Rampage, and I guess they're going to do a little deal with the FTR.
You know what this is? So it's actually the Four
The
Horsemen. For some reason, in Impact, this meant the Kingdom, and I never understood why. Because when you put four fingers up, it always meant the Four Horsemen. But Maria tried to get that over as the Kingdom. They're being billed as the Kingdom again, not the OGK. So they are back to being the Kingdom. And it's funny. WWE said they had interest in Taven, and then 3 days later, they're on Dynam or Rampage.
promotional war, man. Good for the talent, right? Because I bet they were already in negotiations. That story gets leaked that Taven has got interest from WWE. I bet that money offer went up a little bit.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, we got the Kingdom in AEW.
I would assume so, which good for them. For getting some money. I wonder, Maria has expressed interest in wanting to book a Ring of Honor women's division. If I'm Tony Khan, I'm like, yeah, sure. I don't even have a Ring of Honor TV show right now. You can book the women's division. Here, do a match. Like, so, yeah.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, yeah, you can book Mercedes Martinez because that's the Ring of Honor woman.
Right. She's the woman of honor currently.
Yeah.
It does seem like Tony Khan is really gearing up to make Ring of Honor a thing. Maybe we can talk about whether that's viable or not later. But they're in. And the previous Impact Tag Team Champions showed up somewhere else earlier this week.
Yeah,
So,
which we will get into on Patreon. That was going to be the lead story, but then the Kingdom stuff just happened, and I was like, it's more topical. It's fresher in everybody's mind. So let's go ahead and lead the show off with that.
Are people going to be angry that AEW debuted them before they dropped the titles? Because to be fair, WWE brought in the Good Brothers without Carl dropping that old Never belt. So, I mean, it's like 1984 all over again. I love it.
Well, I get the feeling that Tony Khan is going to allow the OGK to come back to Impact to drop the titles to Heath and Rhino next week.
Huge if that's accurate. Huge.
Yeah, something tells me that Heath and Rhino got a good shot. Are people going to be? I'm sure some people like the super high. Like if you hate AEW and you hate Tony Khan, chances are this is going to piss you off, right? This is a little bit annoying because they could have waited a week. What they're doing on Rampage is not that important. It could have waited a week, but instead they felt like they're going to strike while the iron's hot. Look, I'm a big fan of OGK. I didn't really know much about them in Ring of Honor. I had seen some of their stuff on New Japan, and I seen some of the Ring of Honor stuff, but I know them mostly from Impact right now, from this current run. That's like mostly my frame of reference, and I think they're great. I think they're awesome. But they're not going to affect ticket sales, are not going to affect ratings, they're not going to affect merchandise, not going to affect anything like that. I think if Tony Khan was a better partner to Impact, he could have waited a week. I just don't think he gives a fuck. I think that he just doesn't really value Impact all that much or value that relationship.
I agree. I mean, it doesn't bother me all that much because the spoilers are out there, right? Like everyone knows, like it's been the talk that they're out. Right, Maria's on her social media saying "Bye Impact," which, by the way, that's a thing everyone's doing now. It seems it's a promotional war, man. I mean, like as nice of a partner as Impact is, we're back to hoarding mode.
Yeah, and I have lots of thoughts on that, and I'm going to get into those thoughts. Go to patreon.com/fightgamemedia for our premium content.
Spoiler, our Patreon is going to rule this week. I'm very excited to record it.
We have more stuff to talk about on Patreon than we actually do the free feed this time. Like, because last week there wasn't much news last week. This week there's tons of news, and JD and I have tons of takes on all the news. So we're gonna get into that, and plus, Dynamite show kicked ass last night. Paul and Jeff. So go ahead and listen to the Dynamite show. I thought they had an excellent show. Listen to that today at work. I haven't had a chance to tell them that. So if they're listening, great job, boys. But that's also on Patreon, so everybody head over there. So the theme of today's Brace for Impact, the name of the episode is TNA Lives. Because I felt like since Bound for Glory, there's been a kind of a TNA theme to the promotion. And specifically with Bully Ray returning to the promotion, cutting the legs off of Steve Macklin while he's getting ready to break through the glass ceiling, fucking him over one more time, and maybe even sending him out of the promotion one day. Who knows? But so Bully Ray's in the promotion. He wins the Call Your Shot Gauntlet, and he was the star of the show tonight. I've already given my thoughts. I've been pretty vocal about this. JD, why don't you go ahead and have the floor?
When will the fucking Attitude Era die? When are we gonna put a bullet in this damn thing? Like, can you imagine this week, was it last week? It was last week that DX was on Raw, right?
That was a couple nights ago.
Was it this week? God, this week's been so long. Could you imagine them doing that? 1987. Can you imagine them doing that for Baron Mikel Cicluna who was popular in 1972? Right? Like, that's the same amount of time. And here we are. Like, the fact of the matter that we still have these 50-year-old dorks that worship the ground of anything that happened in the late 90s, and anyone who was remotely over in the late 90s, it still has to be a thing in pro wrestling, frustrates me. But we managed to make it worse by taking a disc jockey who managed to help kill the Ring of Honor, a company that I liked. And now we're here again. Like, it's 2013. And like, I rolled my eyes last week because I got to, by the way, great job on the Bound for Glory show. Wish I could have been there.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
It was a very excellent show. Thanks to all our good buddies for throwing a hand in too. I could have lived with it just for the night. Right? I could have lived with it for the night. But then they made the whole damn show about Bully Ray tonight. Whole damn show is about a guy who's like 50 plus, so a damn senior citizen. And that's now the focus of the promotion, is bringing in old guys who aren't going to do anything. Well, they can get over on Busted Open. Who gives a fuck about Busted Open? Who cares? Like, that doesn't grow you. What is that? If we come in tomorrow night, or tomorrow afternoon, I should say, when old Jed Goodman releases those ratings, if they're significantly up, I'll eat crow. I will. I'll say, okay, I'm wrong. This is what the promotion has to be. It's the PGA Senior Tour. But I think this is a terrible move for Impact. Absolutely terrible. Last night in AEW, Swerve Strickland wrestled Billy Gunn. Swerve Strickland won. Right? Billy Gunn is there to, he's a manager and he's putting dudes over like he should. Bully Ray, because we like to shit on AEW, and that's what the Impact fans like to do. We like to say how that's all wrong. Yet, here's a scenario. It's the exact same thing. 2 tag team guys from the Attitude Era come into your promotion. One of them is a manager who has a match with a heel you're trying to build and loses. The other one comes in and takes the legs out of a guy who's starting to get over so that maybe we can feed him to Josh. Maybe. And we still don't have a long-term direction for who the top heel is. Like, I'm so frustrated with this company right now. Like, over the last week, like, I was actually dreading doing the show a little bit tonight. I really was, because I'm in such a dour place with this, because it's not 2013 anymore, man. Like, Bully Ray reinvented himself a decade ago really well. Now, he's a fucking disc jockey. That's all I got.
Okay, I was letting you have the floor. Well, your son said I talk. Andy said I talk too much, so I'm just trying to give you more time.
Did say that. Andy found. I told Mike this. Andy was on YouTube. He goes, "Dad, I found you on YouTube." I clicked play. I said, "What'd you think?" He's like, "Mike talks a lot. I wanted to hear you." And that's a very biased source. So
yes,
but I texted you right away and told you that. I thought it was funny.
Well, the Bill Murray quote one of the Bill Murray quotes I love is that you only get the truth from kids and drunk people. So he spoke the truth.
So, his truth. He wants to hear Dad talk.
Yeah,
He's like, and how come Mike does all the talking? I said, well, it's his show. I'm just the sidekick. Like, I'm Kramer. Like, and he had that joke went over his head. But he's like, well, you should do it. I'm like, well, then we'd be in trouble if Dad was in charge, buddy. Like, we need Mike in charge.
Yeah, no, I got a kick out of that. That was a cute story.
It was funny.
So I said my piece on I got a shout out to a DJ Convoy on Twitter who said that I didn't really go hard he said I didn't go hard enough on Bully Ray and the post show. And he's probably right. It's because I was on a high from Bound for Glory because I loved Bound for Glory. I thought that show was awesome. The main event was one of the best matches in Impact history. I thought Masha Slamovich and Jordan Grace was one of the best women's matches in Impact history. I loved. Didn't really agree with the outcome, but Frankie and Speedball was fantastic too. And we'll get more into the Frankie stuff later in the show. But so I thought that every match was good, including the Call Your Shot Gauntlet. I only did not like Bully Ray winning. That was the only thing I didn't like about the show, was Bully Ray winning the Call Your Shot and beating Steve Macklin, which obviously I'm a little bit biased for Steve Macklin. He had been on the show before, got the military connection. I admire the guy. I think he's a great talent, and I think he's somebody that Impact should be getting behind. I thought he should have won, and he should be the next challenger for Josh. And I will always think that nobody's gonna change my mind. He should have beat Bully Ray, and then Bully Ray could have got a shot at the title afterwards. Look, Bobby Fish got eliminated from that match. Bobby Fish got a title shot tonight, right? Bully Ray could have lost and still got a title shot because he's a TNA legend. He's a former champion. He's a 2-time Hall of Famer. The guy's got credentials, and I do have to apologize to Bully for one thing. I'm only going to apologize to him. Hold on. I'm going to apologize to him for one thing. On Twitter, I called him a washed up, overweight reject. He is not overweight. He's actually looks like he's in pretty damn good shape.
I'll give him that.
I'm judging the fat Bully that I'd seen when I was a kid. No, this version of Bully Ray looks like he is in pretty good shape. Look, and people are going to maybe try to compare him to Jericho. There's a big fucking difference. Jericho's
Get out of here.
Jericho's one of the biggest stars of the modern era, and he is in the best shape of his life. He's having the best run of his career. Now, if Bully Ray goes on a Chris Jericho run, and I thought Bully Ray's promos, like, he's always been a really good promo. I thought his promos were fine tonight.
Good. Yeah, I agree.
If he goes on a Chris Jericho run in his 50s and the ratings go up just a little bit, if they go up a little bit, we get some better ticket sales, we sell some merch, I'll be like, hey, you know what, Impact, you got me on this one. I just don't see it happening because honestly, they've had a lot bigger stars coming to this promotion, bigger than Bully Ray, or not really more famous than Bully Ray, but more currently relevant than Bully Ray have come into this promotion as of late, and they were not needle movers, right? So I just don't see Bully Ray being a needle mover at this stage of his life.
No, I agree with that. And like, get out the Chris Jericho comparisons are ridiculous. Bully Ray hasn't been an active performer in a number of years. Bully Ray, when he signed with Ring of Honor, I gave that not as hard of a stink eye as I'm giving this one, but because of his experiences in Ring of Honor, I'm way biased. Like, Bully Ray coming in Ring of Honor really is what got that downfall really going. And then when they had the mass exodus of Ring of Honor, we're here where we are. Like, I remember he came in, he goes, I'm going to bring the storytelling aspect to Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor sucked the entire time Bully Ray was in the company.
Yeah.
Like, it was significant. Again, Ring of Honor television has always been a problem, right? It was never a very good TV show. You went to Ring of Honor for the matches. Bully Ray showing up did not all of a sudden make Delirious's booking any better. And nor was he involved in anything. In fact, he was involved in one of the most maligned moments in Ring of Honor history. The Enzo Big Cass, because he wasn't Morrissey yet. I'm not going to give him that respect. He was Big Cass at the time.
He was in a dark place in his life during that thing too.
He was
different guy.
Different guy. I'll give him that credit, to the point where even Tama Tonga went backstage and went, "The fuck is this crap?"
Mm-hmm.
Like, they pooched the Madison Square Garden thing with that. So don't bring me this Bully Ray is going to do something for us, because I don't think he is. He had a great run. A decade ago here.
100%. In my opinion, best heel in Impact TNA history. Well, Jarrett might have an argument there. And he was the top star of the Hogan Bischoff era. They really rallied around him there.
He was the top star of the era of this company that ran it into the fucking ground. So yes, he can hold on to that and say he was the top star when Dixie and Hogan and Bischoff flushed everything down the toilet. So we can hold that proudly. Like, when WWE brought him back 7 years ago to finish out, Dudley Boys put over everybody.
Mm-hmm. Like, they put over everybody. They went into the Hall of Fame. Devon went working backstage, and then Bully Ray, boom, he was out the door, back in Ring of Honor.
And say this about Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho's put over a lot of people in AEW while maintaining his position as one of the top guys.
Absolutely. And and one of the big differences, and one of the things that I admire most about Chris Jericho, is he continues to reinvent himself. Bully Ray came out wearing the same exact fucking t-shirt that he wore last time he was in TNA. Same t-shirt, same affliction, like, American Fighter would tap out circa 2008 T-shirt that said 5150 on it. So he stole Homicide's gimmick and he's coming out to Sabu's theme song, and I'm supposed to give a fuck. Sorry, dude. Update your presentation. Show me that you care. Show me that you're going to be different. Nothing about him was different when he came out.
No. And no, it is Mike. He's a good guy now. He wants us to trust him. So and again, there's storytelling, whatever. But I mean, like, the show has to be about Bully Ray and Tommy fucking Dreamer now. What the hell? What? This is not good. This is not how you. I'm not even care about growing a company. This isn't how you keep interest in a company. Like, this is the exact opposite of what they should be doing. This is the opposite. This is everything that killed this company 10 years ago. We're on Access. We can't find good networks because of stuff like this. We're still suffering. We're still suffering from those mistakes that were made a decade plus ago. Right? And they're going to lean back. You know what? For Busted Open? I don't get it.
We're still paying for mistakes of the Hogan Bischoff era where RVD shows up, washed up as hell, doesn't care about TNA, beats AJ Styles for the world title. That's pretty similar to kind of what happened. Like, you got Macklin on the way up, looking to make a difference in the promotion, looking to come through the ceiling, and then they bring in Bully Ray, washed up out of the radio booth. I know he did some stuff for NWA, but he didn't really do much there. But he's basically coming out of the disc jockey chair. But hey, I think we've spoken enough about Bully Ray. Well, we haven't really, because we got to now review the show. Let's go ahead and get to some BTI. The Motor City Machine Guns defeated Raj Singh and Shira, and that was Talking BTI, folks. Thank you for talking BTI with us.
Why couldn't they win? Why couldn't they win the tag titles at Bound for Glory? Like, that would have made sense. That's just stupid. And now we're gonna. Oh God. Well,
so I think what they were trying to do was, and I speak Impact a little bit. I do speak some of their language. I think this was always the plan. They were expecting Rhino to come back, and this was the way to end the Heath storyline with Honor No More, was with Heath getting the tag team titles from them, and then them not extending their contract, I think, kind of sped that up a little bit. So, but they weren't about to put Heath and Rhino versus OGK on Bound for Glory. They wanted a big match. So I think that's what they were trying to do. They could have pivoted, right? It's fake. You can do whatever you want. Put the titles on the Machine Guns, and then Heath and Rhino could beat them in a loser leaves town match. That's what they should have done. But I'm fucking no booking genius, I guess. So
I don't like claiming being a booking genius either, but I have zero interest in Heath and Rhino as tag team champions. I just don't. Like, I know Heath's over doing his Heath thing, but I don't know, man. Like, does it like guys that get pushed out, guys who were in WWE? Like, I'm so frustrated. I'm so frustrated right now.
Impact opened to the highlight video Bound for Glory, especially including Bully Ray. Then Grace retaining her title and Alexander defeating Eddie Edwards. Josh Alexander made his way to the ring. Great match. Josh Alexander made his way to the ring. And I'm going to paraphrase not even paraphrase. I'm just going to say Bully Ray came out, and the story that they're trying to tell is Bully Ray is eventually going to turn heel. Like, we all see it coming. That's exactly what's going to happen. Bully Ray came out to explain to Josh Alexander why he wasn't going to turn heel, that he's trying to do everything right this time, not the way he used to do it when he was a scumbag. And then they should have ended it at that point, right?
Oh, no.
5 minutes. 5 minutes would have been fine. They could have went to the commercial, and then they could have had successive segments in different areas or on different episodes. But instead, they then bring out Steve Macklin, who looked like a total idiot because Bully Ray beat Macklin fair and square. Saying, well, why were you even in the match? Now Macklin looks like a pussy. And then all of a sudden Moose comes out and saying, and I thought what Moose was saying was kind of clever, actually, but it just took forever to get there. Saying that, Bully Ray, you're a scumbag. And I like that because I'm a scumbag too. And I patterned my scumbagness off of what you used to do here in TNA. And then Bobby Fish shows up. Everybody's out there because they want a shot at the title. Bobby Fish shows up and he's addressing Bully Ray again, saying that, yeah, you were a scumbag, but I think you're not a scumbag. Maybe not. I don't know, but can I have a title shot? That's what happened, but it took fucking 25 minutes.
It was like a Raw segment, but like, this felt like, I don't want to shit on Raw now because I'm not watching enough to shit on Raw now, and everybody loves Raw now, so I can't shit on Raw now. But like an Attitude Era Raw segment where you just talk and talk and talk, and this guy comes out, and then this guy comes out, and then this guy comes out, and this guy comes out, and this guy comes out. Like, I hated this. This is like it's just such a. I hate this so much. I can't express how much I hate this. I really can't.
I was fine with it, and then it just drug on forever.
Oh yeah, it was fine. If it's 5 minutes, yeah. If it was 5 minutes and we moved on, fine. But like,
yeah, if it was 5 minutes and then Bobby Fish comes out and challenges him, I'm fine with that segment, right? I'm fine with that segment. Steve Maclin and Moose didn't need to be a part of it because other than Moose getting in a clever line, that was really it. Like and maybe they're trying to set up, another Alexander versus Moose match, and they're trying to set up Alexander versus Maclin, or they're trying to connect, either one of those guys to Bully Ray. That's fine. They just didn't need to do it all at the same time in a 25-minute segment. They should have kept it to 5 or 6 minutes.
No, I'm of the mind most segments should be kept to 5 or 6 minutes,
Yes.
right? Like, especially talking segments. Like, very rarely does a 20-minute talking segment be good, right? Even on those Raw things. Most time when you have the Triple H breaking up his sentences, and that's what it would be. And Seth Rollins does a good job of that too. Like, I can't. It's so useless. It's so like. It's not why people are watching Impact, man.
No.
Nope.
So, and I'm going to skip, although our friend Josiah, he he wanted to bury the work shoot stuff. He actually sent us a DM on Facebook. He said, this is a quote from Josiah. He said, "I don't know how to feel about all this work to shoot stuff. I think the idea of Bully Ray not being trusted can be compelling without all the work shoot stuff about backstage politics. His on-screen character is untrustworthy enough without all the Russo-rific stuff." And I agree with that. So what he's referencing is that Steve Maclin was saying, well, kind of calling him a backstage politician, saying he politicked to get his way into the Call Your Shot gauntlet, and now he's doing his backstage politics and yada yada yada, manipulating people. And I just felt like that was completely out of place. It just didn't, like, like what Josiah was saying, his on-screen character is already an asshole. You don't need to try to bring real life into it. You're not really doing anybody any favors. And AEW is already abusing the work shoot stuff as it is already. You don't want to do that. People are over it.
Yeah, no. Has anyone ever gotten over with work shoot except Punk like a decade ago? Like, we talk about Brian Pillman, but did that really make Brian Pillman a star? Like,
no,
it made guys us talk about him, and it got him a big contract with WWF. But I mean, like, it wasn't like he was huge when he got there. Like, I don't think it was like Josiah hit the nail on that. It's Russo-rific. Like, and did you listen to My World this week? This was actually one of my favorite episodes of My World. I thought Jeff and Conrad.
I listened to most of it. I have not finished it though.
Yeah, I thought Jeff and Conrad were really on it this week. Jeff was, Jeff can be brutally honest sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And, he was just talking about how Vince Russo wanted to right the ship, wanted to be in charge of everything, but then, like, didn't want to take credit didn't want anything to do with pay-per-view. Right? Like, he did not want his shows to be building the pay-per-views and the stuff that made sense. Like, it's just, and this felt very much like that. Like, where are we going? What is the end game? Josh beats Bully? Like, okay, that's fine. That's what they should do. But do we have to stretch this out to a pay-per-view or to a PLE or something like that? And then where? Like, who is the next guy?
Yeah, and if they're trying to use Bully to build Maclin,
Maclin's got to win.
He's got to win. Yeah. And maybe that's why they gave Bully the first win. I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see where it goes. We'll see where it goes. Something that both of us liked, I'm sure. I haven't even asked you about this. Killer Kelly defeated Tasha Steelz in a decent little piece of business there. It was in a street fight or something like that. And then at one point, Killer Kelly got a steel chain and choked her out with it. And that was the end.
I like the Killer Kelly character. I think she knows what she is. I like that. I like that she's, like I said, we compared to some Black Widow stuff, which, I think she does a better job being Black Widow than Natasha. What's her name?
Scarlett Johansson.
Thank you, Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
Ever was at being Black Widow. She's good. She's very good. She knows what she is, right? That's very
Yeah.
important. Know your character, right? She knows her character, and yeah, I'm good with it.
Johnny Swinger invited Dirty Dango to his dungeon. Eric Young's minions, the chubby dudes in yellow hoodies, screamed, and then Sam McCallahan beat them up.
What are we doing? What are we doing? Like this are they going to wherever they're taping and goes, give me the fattest guys we can find? Who are the most unathletic people we can get our hands on to put them in a yellow hoodie to make them look even worse?
It's ridiculous.
It's dumb. Eric Young can get anything over. I've said that. I'm starting to question it because I don't think this is working.
Yeah, are they letting him pick the people and where? I mean, is he getting them from the Waffle House parking lot?
He ain't picking them.
No. It's like, hey, will you work for free? Yep. Okay, come on over.
Well, I don't even think these are local indie guys. I think these are just dudes. I think these are just dudes. Like
they might be like stage hands or something like that. I don't know.
It's terrible. I laughed a couple times. I was ready to shit on Dirty Dango being here, but it's kind of working. So I'm gonna reserve my hatred. I'm gonna reserve my hatred for a little bit. I mean, like I shit on it. I wanted to shit on it for Bound for Glory, but I mean here, I don't know. I think he actually kind of worked with Zicky and Swinger. I think I'm like, you know what? This kind of works. So I was okay with it. And that's all.
I liked his team with Tyler Breeze and NXT, the Fashion Police, or whatever they called him, Breezango. My opinion is, when you're one of those characters there and you can't keep your name, once you leave WWE, you need to do something different. And this is just a guy who's got no imagination, no creativity, and he's the artist formerly known as whatever his WWE name was. Fandango. He's Dirty Dango now. So, I just see this guy going nowhere fast. He's just going to be in some backstage segments. So,
Vince isn't always wrong.
No, you know what? But I thought, what he did in WWE worked for, he was a lower card guy, comedy guy. That's fine.
Okay.
The Breezango tag team was fun, but
Mike, I'm going to refresh your memory about something.
Oh, I know.
That man beat Chris Jericho at WrestleMania.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll just leave that. I'm going to leave that at that. I think he's a fine pickup to lose to guys that are on the come up. Like Macklin should break his freaking neck.
Yeah.
That
would be awesome.
Yes, it would.
Josh Alexander and Scott D'Amore talked about Bully Ray's actions, and basically Scott D'Amore just said, look, I signed this guy. I brought him in here, but watch your back. Keep your head on a swivel. He's coming for that title, and you're not going to expect it.
This guy's a real piece of shit. That's why I signed him.
Yeah, I signed him.
Signed him. I can't trust this guy. He's a fuckface. Be careful. Gave him a good 6-figure deal, though. So we're set.
Gave him a 6-figure deal because he's all busted open.
It's like he's untrustworthy. He's a scumbag. That's why I signed him. Like, just kind of. Does Scott know what he's saying half the
time? Next we go to a 6-way X Division match, a TNA-rific, but in a good way, as Lucha Doncic put it. A very fun, fast-paced 6-way X Division match with Trey Miguel defeating Alex Zane, Laredo Kid, Kenny King, Black Taurus, and Yuya Uemura, which is cool to see him back here. I didn't know that he'd be coming back. Trey Miguel hit a page turner on Zane for a 3 count and got the victory. But Josiah pretty upset that Taurus didn't win, but I think they're setting something up for Taurus. As long as he's not getting pinned, I'm okay.
Taurus has been winning a lot lately, so I'm okay with this. You got to show Trey. Trey's got to do some stuff too. This is an Impact from like 2009, right? This was like a throwback Impact tonight, which I'm fine by. This stuff. This is what it was. Stupid. I hate this. Ooh, this match is really good. Like that's
like, why the fuck is Bully Ray and Team 3D in every segment? Oh, this is a good match. God damn it, Bully Ray's back.
That's you just summed up my TNA fandom right there. Like that's it. Like God, every time someone is not wrestling, I want to throw something at my TV, and then they get out there. I'm like, God damn, this wrestling is so good. Like.
I can't stay mad. The whole thing, my whole thing with TNA is like, I can't stay mad at you guys. AJ Styles and Kurt Angle just tore the house down again. It was like one of those things.
See, I couldn't. I was that pushed my buttons too much sometimes. But yeah, that's
Yeah.
how I. This was that's a great match, man. This was very old
Mhm.
school TNA, and man, I really enjoyed it. I really like this match.
Yeah. Frankie Kazarian and Mike Bailey. Mike Bailey confronted him in the parking lot, shook his hand, and said, "The better
Confront
man
is
won."
that the
Oh.
word you would use? This kissed his ass would
No.
be the term I would use.
It kissed his ass, basically, yeah. And then Trey Miguel came in, kissed both their asses, and then Frankie Kazarian was like, "All right, guys, well, you'll find out what happens," because I think both of them wanted an X Division title shot. So, and then he just walked off.
Yeah, it's just a very pointless segment. And the less speedball talks, the better. Unless you do something with them different, like just having him suck Frankie was just like, all right, what do we do? And then knowing where we're going, it makes both of them look really freaking stupid.
Mm-hmm. It's like,
Right?
wow, we thought this guy was awesome, and we thought we were gonna get a title shot.
Right?
Nope.
That's basically what it was. They both just kissed his ass to get a title shot, and then Frankie's like, "Yeah, I'm not wasting my time with you guys." It's weird.
Yeah. Vexed, Deanna Prazo and Chelsea Green. More on them on the Patreon. Go to patreon.com/FightGameMedia. And Giselle Shaw defeated Death Dolls, Taya, Valkyrie, Jessica, and Rosemary. I kind of dug this match, but I'm a fan of the Death Dolls. I'm a fan of Vexed, so I like the match. Looks like we're gonna get a return match for the tag title soon.
I really like the Death Dolls walkout video. Really
Oh yeah,
it's good. It's a good little piece of business. This was good. I liked it.
Yeah, I like both acts here. Backstage, Tommy Dreamer was with Bully Ray. And Dreamer asked Ray to not make a fool of him for trusting him. Ray said that Dreamer got him his first shot in New York, and then he would never make a fool of him, and he won't now. And then Dreamer suggested they team up, and Ray agreed, and he said, "All right, Return of the Fat and the Furious." Actually made me laugh. Okay, guys.
I laughed at that too.
Full disclosure, Fat and the Furious. And then I was like, damn it. I was so mad because I had been calling Bully Ray fat this whole time, and he actually looks like he's pretty fucking good. So,
well, fair enough. He was staying next to Dreamer, so
that is true. Yeah.
Go ahead. We have to talk about shit that happened in ECW in 1996.
If we're not going to age these guys anymore, let's go ahead and talk about shit that happened whenever I was 12.
26 years ago. Like,
yeah.
God, let it die. I like the Attitude Era stuff too. It hasn't aged very well, but like, it was a fun time for wrestling. Please let us move past it. I'm begging you guys. I'm begging. Look, the wrestling community, just put the Attitude Era to bed, please.
Can we? So look, Bully Ray returned. He did what every fucking idiot does that comes in. Like in any new promotion, they always have to list their accomplishments when they come in, right? Whenever they're starting a new they have to list their resume as if we don't already know, or as if the announcers can't do that for them. The talent has to list the resume. Bully Ray did that. Okay, we got it out of the way.
That's for the casuals, Mike, who are just watching, who might not know.
I know.
I can't even finish that sentence. Casuals watching Impact.
And then they had to, reestablish that Bully Ray and Tommy Dreamer are best friends. Okay, I get it, because eventually Bully Ray is going to turn on them. But let us never speak of this shit again. I don't want to hear about ECW. I'm over ECW, and I was one of the biggest ECW fans there was. But I'm sick of it.
Me too. I'm over it. If Paul E can move on, so should the rest of them. I'm begging you guys. I'm begging you guys. Let it go.
Matt Cardona defeated Bhupinder Gujjar, and I'm going to let my review of this match go because there was nothing to it.
I'm happy Cardona is back. I'm disappointed they still aren't going to channel into what, before he got hurt, was the hottest heel in the indies, right? And now if you took this whole thing and inserted Matt Cardona, like I suggested last week on this show, I think we have a better show.
100%, 1000%. Backstage, Mickie James was with Gia Miller. She talked about how she had a lot of women on the roster she wanted to face for challenging Jordan Grace. Vexed and Giselle Shaw came up to James and said that James should respect them because Green Beater looks like Chelsea Green versus Mickie James will happen soon. But Vex said they were more concerned with getting their tag team gold first. So, we'll see if that Chelsea Green match actually happens. More on that later.
I'm more impressed you actually paid attention to the content of this segment. Mickie came out.
Yeah, well, no, I'm actually just reading what happened from Josiah's report.
Oh, thank God!
Refresh my memory because words were in fact said during that segment.
I had no idea that they were actually speaking at this time. I was just transfixed.
Yeah, they titillated the audience for sure.
Okay, good.
Absolutely. Josh Alexander, Bullet Club cut a promo about Ace Austin and Chris Bay would face Bully Ray and Tommy Dreamer next week. Josh Alexander defeated Bobby Fish to retain the world championship in a really good match, an awesome main event. Saved the whole show for me. Well, kinda. Hold on, because then after that, hold on, I'm getting to it.
Okay, I was hoping we'd talk about the match first before we. Has Bobby put on a few since leaving AEW? He looks a little chunky.
I don't know that he's put on a few, but it seems like he's done less cardio. He's not as fit as he was when he was in AEW. I could say that. I don't know that he's gained weight, but I think he's lost some muscle mass for sure.
Yeah, he looked a little poochy. It's still good. Right, match was actually really good. Bobby Fish should. There's a reason why he's been in multiple companies and doesn't cut promos. But I thought the match was really good. I really liked the match.
Well, Bobby, I mean, look, say what you want about Bobby Fish. The motherfucker can go. Guy can go in the ring. He's really always been a really good wrestler. So, and I don't know that he's going to stick on here. I think they brought him in just because he's from Albany and they wanted to sell the show. But turns out nobody in Albany likes that motherfucker either. So
nobody likes Bobby Fish. That's like nobody's a Bobby Fish fan. I like his work, but I mean, I've never thought, oh, Bobby Fish is wrestling. I'll go to watch Bobby Fish. No one says that. No. And plus, he has a fight to train for.
That's true.
He is going to box.
He's going to box on, what undercard? Was it the Anderson Silva? No, it's Floyd Mayweather exhibition undercard, which that's actually going to be a big event, and Bobby Fish is on it. That's pretty crazy.
So he's going to get paid, right? He's going to make some money. Well, is that a Triller? Who's promoting that?
It's Mayweather Promotions. So he
probably will get paid. Yeah.
He'll get paid. Yeah, they're not going to screw him. Mayweather's a lot of things, but he's going to make sure that all his people get paid.
But I listened to Jake Paul. It said he hasn't been paid from Triller yet, or something like that. It was him, right?
A lot of people are suing Triller because they haven't paid. Triller hasn't paid them because Triller was built on a bed of lies, and they bought out Fight TV. And I think Fight TV and Triller are going to go under if they don't sell.
It's like Herb Abrams in the UWF all over again. Who says pro wrestling is dead?
But this match was awesome. Josh Alexander hit the C4 spike for the pinfall. And then after the match, Frankie Kazarian came down, congratulated Alexander on his win, and then vacated the X Division title and cashed in Option C. So at Bound for Glory, not only did he beat up-and-coming star Mike Bailey, cut his legs off from under him, but instead of defending the title, he fucking threw it in the trash and opted to go for a title shot against Josh Alexander. I said my piece, JD. The floor is once again yours, sir.
So isn't this exactly what Sammy Guevara wanted to do? And we all shit on him for that? Like, that selfish piece of crap. He just wanted to come and take the title and never lose it. It's exactly what they did. That's exactly what this is. And I'm a huge Frankie fan, right? I don't even think you can blame Tony Khan on this one. Like, no. This is Scott. And why couldn't they just bring Frankie in? They didn't have to have him win the title. He could have just came in and challenged. Didn't need to do Option C. Like, usually after Option C, you've defended the belt a few times. He won it the night before this was taped.
Well, Josh did Option C, but he had cleaned out the division.
He cleaned the division. Yeah. And they actually built that really well, right? Mm-hmm. If Kenny was in a better place physically, that would have happened then, and it would have been awesome and built great. And it was still built pretty damn good with Christian Cage. This isn't that. I don't even know if you can call this hot-shotting.
I think it's just bullshit is what it is.
It makes no sense. I mean, I don't get why. I've expressed my issues with Speedball before. Not the biggest Speedball fan, but the guy has good matches. And he was over as the X Division champion. Mm-hmm. Why? Why did we do this? Now I assume we're going to have this is Impact. We're going to have a big multi-man match. They're probably going to hang that thing. They're probably going to have Ultimate X or something like that, I imagine, to declare a new champion. But why?
So they're going to announce it next week, but spoiler. They're going to do a one-night tournament in November at the Overdrive pay-per-view. Yeah.
Impact does a one-night tournament for the X Division? That's out of left field. I actually kind of want to shit on that. Like, it's the one time I expect to have a big crazy multi-man match is this, but whatever.
Yeah.
Scott caught me sleeping on that one. I don't get it.
No.
I don't get it.
Yeah. So BQ said it best. He said, there was only three guys in the promotion that all had momentum heading into Bound for Glory. And it was Speedball, it was Black Taurus, and it was Steve Macklin. And
They
all
all
three
lost.
of them, they all lost. And they're the only ones that had any momentum going into the show.
This is why the LOL TNA meme exists. Because of shit like this.
Well, and they're doing it in favor of guys who don't really fucking work here.
Oh, and how's that worked out? Okay,
Yeah.
well, when you do that, what are you telling the people who work there? You don't matter as much. Oh, okay, then I'll go somewhere else. Why stick around?
Well, and that's why, I think that's why we're in the situation that we're in, which we're about to talk about right now on Patreon. Head to patreon.com/5kmedia. We're going to continue the conversation there. Go ahead, JD.
Did you hate the show? Because, I mean, like, I really shit on it, but I mean, like, the stuff I didn't like, I really didn't like. But there was some really good stuff on the show, too. Like, I thought the wrestling was particularly good this week.
The only thing I didn't like was how long the opening segment was. And I thought overall the segment, because of that, was a bad segment. And I don't like the angle where they're going with Frankie Kazarian, the option C. But it didn't ruin the show for me. I actually thought the show was pretty damn good. I thought all the matches, except for I didn't really care for the Roju and Cardona match. I just thought it was completely unimportant, and I wasn't really paying attention to it. But other than that, I thought it was pretty solid show, like a good B-.
Here's the thing: is people spend all their time bitching about mid cards and who's doing what in the mid card, and is this person this, and is this person that in the mid card, and we obsess over the mid card. The only thing that matters is the main event. Right. Yeah. So we have a bad taste in our mouth from this show because the main event angle is bad. Right.
Yeah.
That's the truth of pro wrestling. If you're that's the story of the Attitude Era. If the main event is good, everything else on the show is forgivable. If the main event is bad, it ruins things.
Well, and if your top stars are over, Rock, Austin, then everybody else on that show gets over too. It trickles down to where guys like Billy Gunn are over now. Right. And guys from the Attitude Era are over there. Like Al Snow could probably still get bookings and actually get pops because of how over he was, because the people that he was on the show with were really, really fucking over, drawing big crowds. And everybody that was on the show were seen as big stars because of how over Steve Austin and The Rock were.
Absolutely. That's like the indie scene in the early to mid 90s worked because guys worked with Hulk Hogan. Right. Same in the 80s, same concept. Like, there's like, if you get elevated, here's this crazy idea. If you work with stars, you can be elevated by them. If you beat stars, you yourself can be a star. Like, it's not that hard, yet here we are.
Not that hard. All right, everybody, head over to Patreon. And Patreon folks, stick around.
Breaking news.
I hit the wrong button.
What? I mean, like, it is breaking news, but it was like, oh, we're starting different. Cold open.
No, hold on. Try again. Ready and go.